evening. Keeps up the cash. Gary B, the casual comic guy, and joined as always on Thursdays, and hopefully next Tuesday coming up when we have Jason Douglas here next Tuesday.
Yes.
Digger Jim, how you doing tonight, Jim?
I'm doing good. You know, he texted me or he DM'd me and said, "Hey, have you gotten everything straight? Are you on with the Kickstarter?" And I said, "You know what? Me and Kickstarter are having an issue right now, but I do have my wife set up so that when he officially drops his Kickstarter for Jane America, we are ready." And
nice.
Yeah, so I'm ready for that.
I'll have all the links on the Tuesday night show.
I'm sure you will.
All right, and I already have them all in my email from him. And without further ado, our man of the hour. You've seen him on the 1011. He had an awesome episode. We got to meet this gentleman. Tonight, we get to learn a lot more about him. All right, we have CBizzle. Good evening, CBizzle. How you doing, sir?
Hey, how's everybody doing today?
We are doing great, and we are glad to have you on the show. We have a bunch of people in the crowd, but before we get to the audience to say hi, give a quick 1 minute sale on who you are and what your channel is about, sir.
So my name is, of course, Couchin and Slouchin'with CBizzle. My channel is right now about mainly unboxing of comic books, books I buy in bulk and books I buy singly from several different places, from Facebook, Mercari, eBay, and my main thing is I love talking about comic books. No matter what now. I used to be a Marvel guy, or like all Marvel guy, and now I'm Marvel, DC, Independence. So I'm all across the board now.
Expanding your horizons, nice. That's a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Sorry, I'm reaching out to somebody here.
Okay. Well, let me ask a question while you're reaching out.
Go ahead.
Do you reach around that area and I gotta know where did the name come up? I mean, that is a dope name. I mean, I'm just Digger Jim, and it's had two-part meaning, but where did the name come up with?
So I have to split it up into two parts. So the first part, Couchin and Slouchin', it was at first, it's actually a couple of things. One, at first it was something not really all that positive. So I used to always joke around.
Right.
When I see somebody, dressing fresh and they got it going on, I said, "Oh man, you over there styling and profiling." Right. I'm over here couching and slouching. And also, that's normally when I read comic books when I was a kid growing up, I was always on the couch.
Right. Sure.
Reading them, because I had my room, but I'd rather be out in the open and read comic books.
Sure.
And CBizzle, now this is I literally got that nickname. It's weird how it transformed to just CBizzle. So back in college, it was a DJ that was my classmate. We both was going to school for video game design, and nice. He knew that I drew comic books. He knew I read them sparingly, but at the time I was drawing, and he started calling me CB. And after a while, it was around that time when Snoop Dogg was going for Shizzle.
Right.
So they started putting CBizzle to that. My original nickname was CBizzle the Mage.
Okay.
And I got that nickname. I got the mage part because I was an avid Magic the Gathering player. And so I had a friend of mine that he kept calling me CBizzle the Mage. For matter of fact, I think my gamer tag on my Xbox is CBizzle the Mage.
Yeah, so Magic over Dungeons and Dragons for you?
Okay. Yes and no. It was a Dungeons and Dragons game that we played called Descent. We had one quest that lasted 13 hours.
Wow.
We lost on the last roll.
Wow.
The very last roll. And I loved it though. It was the most epic thing. It was the most epic loss I've ever had in my life.
And not only that, nothing bad happens to you in real life. You're like, oh, well, next game.
Other than 13 hours. 13 hours gone.
We had like pizza and beer, we took breaks in between, but
Yeah.
It was that drunk roll that got you, huh?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even my role. I did my part. It was my roommate's role.
Oh man.
But we had every time I see anything Dungeons and Dragons, I always go back to that memory.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it.
It's like he Leroy Jenkins you.
Yeah. You know what?
Gamers know that reference. If you're not a gamer, I'm
I've-
sorry, you don't know the reference.
I've never played that game. That game was real big in college, but I wanted to focus more on my studies.
Right, good man.
Then focus on that game.
Good
This
man.
is one of the best gaming clips ever.
Yes, I played some MMOs before.
I
you
never
know.
played that either. I never got into it.
Yeah. I was more than Lord of the Rings, anyways.
Right.
Mhm.
I don't know. I love Diablo.
Yeah. I'm looking at all the trailers for Diablo 4, and it's
I'm
getting
hoping
tempting.
it's great again. I
Yeah.
loved 1. I loved 2. 3
Mhm.
was a little bit of a letdown for me. I was like, it was all right, but it was missing that classic feel. I don't know if it's because I was older now, but
True.
I don't think so. I just don't think it quite measured up to the first 2 for me. But anyway,
I heard more complaints about 3 than any of them.
we're digressing. Let's before we carry on and learn a little bit more about you, let's say hi to the chat, because the chat is kicking. So, and as always, Las Cruces. Good evening, sir. Nice to see you, buddy. Old Collector 82. Good evening. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming in. Jerry the Jitterbug. Always great to see Jerry. Well, Boar. Good evening, sir. Nice to see you. Stephanie. Nice to see you. Good evening. And we also have
Madam Blaster.
yeah, well, she's lifting home, so hopefully her lift driver is safe.
Right.
All right. We also have Chop and Drop, one of the best supporters out there. Good evening, Chop. How you doing, buddy? And we have Brian LCS. Good evening, Brian. Brian and I got a big game going on tonight. Our teams are playing each other in the.
I was going to say, isn't it hockey night?
It's a tight series, man. It's a tight series. Eddie, good evening, sir.
I cover no hockey, so you know.
Tony, it's been a good series, but it's been close and tough.
Yeah,
I'm a Detroit Red Wings fan, so I'm not even thinking about hockey playoffs.
But more than me.
Sounds comics with kids. I think Marcus is here as well.
Marcus,
all right, Marcus, good man.
He
Marcus is the man.
I think. I believe I added Marcus to the usual suspects chat too, so he could join if he wanted to. I said hi to Eddie. Ignacio, good evening, sir. I'm getting lost here.
Such a good artist.
I know.
Such a good artist.
He's a better human than artist. Ignacio's fantastic. Jack B, good evening.
Hey, from Michigan, fellow Michiganer.
All right, so before we get into comics, let's get back to your gaming.
Mm-hmm.
So, Xbox, PlayStation 4, or Nintendo?
Right now it's all
PC.
Xbox. Right now it's all Xbox.
And that concludes our interview for tonight, guys.
Okay, well let's talk about that for a minute. And this is my life right here. Okay, first and foremost, I'm not a gamer. If you want to go back to the 70s in the 80s, I did Atari, and then I did Sega. You know, and then I did a little bit of Nintendo, and then that was it. And then my nephew saw me playing and said, "You should never play games, Uncle Jimmy. You're horrible." Because I just couldn't get used to that multi-prong thing. Yeah, where you had like multiple. It just messed me up. But we bought my son like an Xbox. Good Lord, 2 years ago, maybe 3 years. I don't remember. It's been a while, and it's just collecting dust. Because then he got a computer, and the next thing you know, it's like a gaming computer, and that Xbox just sits over there. And I'm like, honey, man, we paid all this money for this thing. And I don't even think he'll look at it again, because when he graduated from high school, she got him a, oh, crap. What's it called? Oculus? Oculus? Yeah.
My kid has an Oculus, and he
has where you
Xbox
put the
One in there.
Oh, my gosh. And I'm like, this thing... Well, I almost want to go and plug it in, and we bought a FIFA game, so I might plug it in and play FIFA because I like soccer.
I was picking on you about being an Xbox guy, but I don't have any hate for Xbox.
I don't have any hate for the PlayStation.
They're both great. It just depends whose exclusives you like more.
Yeah,
right. I've always liked Sony Band, and I like Naughty Dog. I got to put Naughty Dog puts a game out. I have to play a Naughty Dog game. I have to play, stuff like that.
So reason why I went Xbox, because at the time I was in college, I was not living with my mother. I was in college, so at that time I only could afford one system.
Right.
So both my roommates has an Xbox 360, So I joined. I said, okay, I get the 360 as well, and I've been with him ever since. And plus, nothing against PlayStation. I just like the Xbox controller better. It fits better in my hands.
There you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, you went to school for video game design?
Yes. It was a school called Brown College Institute in Minnesota, and I graduated with a bachelor's degree in video game design.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That just sounds hard.
Yeah, because my thing was I was trying to become a concept artist and a 3D modeler.
Okay.
So,
Atari 2600. Right on, Journey.
That was my first system. That was my first system. Was Atari 2600.
Journey knows the way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So video game design. So when did comics come into your life, and when did you start with that?
Well, it started before I even went to college. My father, he drew Batman in front of me on a napkin with an ink pen, and ever since then, I was also enamored with comic books. I kept asking him, I want some more comic books. And down the street from us was a bookstore that had the comic books on a rack. So, and also, I don't know if anybody here remember this store. It's called Perry Drugs. It's like the Rite Aids or the Walgreens.
No, I never heard of them.
Yeah. I've never heard of it, but I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And so that's why I always give either my father was going to give me the comic books or my grandmother was.
Nice.
And then I'll start collecting like on and off. And then at the time, a cousin of mine gave me a stack of comic books, and I started, hanging out with my. He's my brother, but we're not blood related. I've known him for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And me and him got into, he was a writer of my comic books, and we go to downtown Detroit. It was a cyber cafe, and it was this guy who actually painted our cover of our first book. Who, yes, it was very huge. I think it changed over to Walgreens.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, Rite Aid. It got changed to Rite Aid. But anyways, I digress. So we went down to the cyber cafe. He had a bunch of these long boxes, and the cyber cafe was closing because Wayne State University bought the area.
Okay.
And he was like, "Hey, y'all want these long boxes?" So I took 2, and one of my friends took 2. And I still kept collecting stuff, kept buying them until I got with a young lady, and that's where all my money went.
Yep, that's what happens. That's what happens. Circling back real quick, the grandparents, I think, are the gateway to comics, because I hear so many stories where my grandmother, I would do stuff around the house. My grandmother would give me $10, and $10, you could buy a ton of comics with $10.
Right?
But I think too, you have a pretty good story about you and your grandma, right?
Yeah.
Didn't she get you a pretty good book, if I remember.
Yes. No.
1011.
Oh, not my grandmother. My aunt.
Your aunt. All right.
Yeah.
So the relatives are always good for that. But going back to, I don't want to take away from what you were saying there. The girlfriend came in, and that was the end of comics.
That was
the ruination of them.
So that's the reason why I ended up in college, anyways, because she was going to move out to Minnesota. So she wanted me to come with her. I said, well, I'll check out the college. They say, oh, they got game design? I'm there. And the funny thing is, 6 months of us moving to Minnesota, we end up breaking up. So I was like, well, I'm here.
Comics will always take you back.
Yeah, comics will always take you back. That's right.
I'm here. It was the best thing about it was my mom moved 3 times while I was in college. And each time my long boxes was with her, she moved them carefully so they wouldn't get damaged.
That's respect.
Yeah. So I really appreciate her for that. But then I moved back to Michigan because she became ill, and she passed away like 3 weeks after me moving back. I got my comic books, got my own place, and then I just did a random Marvel store search for comic book stores, and a store popped up about 10 minutes away from my apartment. Went there. The owner, his name is Gail. He's at Liberty Comics in Roseville, Michigan. And he was awesome. He made me feel welcome when I walk in. Like, that's how I know you're going to be my LCS. If I walk in and you make me feel welcome and make me feel like you want me to be an actual customer to you,
right.
I'm there. I'm loyal.
And a lot of them get it wrong. Like
Yeah,
I've been in like most of the reasons I've quit comics over the years has been the comic shops.
yeah,
When I lived in my hometown from Plattsburgh, New York, we had a great one there called Fantastic Planet, ran by a husband and wife. It was fantastic. Loved the place. So I was always good there. When I moved down to Rochester, and Rochester's a big comic town, I went to like 4 or 5 different comic shops, and it's the same thing. You go in there, you know, they have all these comics. You start looking. Oh, can I help you? Do you need help? What can I do? Can I do something with that? I'm not going to steal anything, man. I'm just looking at books. If I want to buy something, I'll bring it up to the counter.
right,
Yeah, I'm an adult. I'm not 4 years old. I'm not tearing them up. And and the way I got my recent one, Rhinos, is I was out of comics, but I had heard the rumors that Conan the Barbarian was going back to Marvel, and that was piquing my interest to get back. But my kid was young at the time, and I saw this new one. It was just a little offshoot. It was a tiny little store then, Rhinos, and I brought my kid in to get him a toy and to try to get him reading. And the owner was really nice to the kid. Let him pick up stuff. Gave him a free toy on the way out the door.
nice.
Wow.
It wasn't every time my kid picked up a book, it wasn't like, hey, careful with that, you know.
Yeah, right,
He let him be a kid in the store.
right.
And and I've been with that person ever since. So much so that I volunteer and help there at least once a week. Also, and if someone comes in, new customers with a kid, never lets a kid leave empty-handed.
Oh wow.
Gives a kid something. Kids are free to, if they pick up a book, they can handle it. They can read it, And a lot of comic stores don't get that. Those are your future customers, man.
Exactly.
Right. And not only that, you're a service store, and some people, and I think sometimes it comes with the field where these people didn't really interact with people when they were younger. Now they own a comic shop. People don't know how to interact with people.
Right. Right.
But like you go in and you have a good experience. It can change your whole outlook.
Exactly. I mean,
now you've been with this guy the whole time.
Well, he gave me the whole tour of the whole shop, and he was my LCS the whole time I was living in Michigan. Now I've been for the last 8 years I've been living down here in Dallas, Texas. So I went to one comic book shop down here in Texas. I walked in, didn't say nothing to me, didn't say hi, and didn't say anything else to me. I was like, okay, well, I may or may not come back here again. And then I went to this other comic book store. It's called Galaxy Called Dallas, and the owner James, he was super nice to me. He welcomed my son every time, like you.
Right.
I brought my son in here, and he's like, oh, here, take this. He can have that. I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't used to this, here in Texas. So, and only bad part is his store closed down. It wasn't because of the pandemic. It was just that the area he was in, the lease went up.
Oh yeah.
And he couldn't afford it, so he had to close down. So now my LCS is more of a gaming store, like a board gaming store or a gaming store, but they have comic books.
Right.
So their back issues is not really major. But that's why I go to every week to get my
your pull list.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so you get your pull list there, but how much of a back issue hunter are you? Do you do you drive out specifically to look through places that have back issues and just?
I have 2 stores.
Okay. All right. Let's hear about it.
I have 2 main stores. One is Titan Comics. Both of these stores in Dallas. I live in North Dallas. So these stores are south of me, about half an hour south. And I go to Titan Comics. That's my main one. I'm New Warriors #1 there for like $12.
I love that series.
Anytime, right? I'm trying to. I'm almost finished my run.
I wish I had it back. I sold it a while ago, like years and years ago, and I miss it.
The New Warriors.
Yeah. Come on, you had Firestar in it, which was the main reason. Firestar Nova were the reasons I picked that book up.
Yeah, well,
mine was a character later in the run was Rage.
Sure.
He debuted.
And then he became an Avenger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had his
And,
own. He had his own series a little bit too.
I like that they had.
I'm hunting for that one.
I like that they had they had a mix of everything, but like that, I can't remember her name. The handicap
Silhouette.
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew it was something
over
like
Night
that.
Thrasher.
Yeah.
I like Silhouette. She was cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
I got Night Thrasher. Like his first solo book, he had like a 4 issue.
Yeah, and they had that all gimmicked up with the embossed cover. Because you couldn't have a series in the 90s without it getting embossed or foiled or something crazy.
Exactly.
So you're in that. So you're in that same area as Nick, right? From Nick's Kix and Comix. Yeah.
Yes. I've been asking him
hold that against you.
Yeah, we won't hold that against you.
We're sorry
about
what stores out there that he goes to. So
yeah, because I'm sure. I mean, he'll come in and show some books and be like $4, and I'm like $4.
Mm-hmm.
It's like yes. And I'm like, man, I need to move to Texas because in Maryland that'd be like a $20 book.
My new thing is I want to try to start this year is go to flea markets. I haven't been to a flea market down here yet.
Yeah.
So I want to go to flea markets and see, because I keep seeing people getting these great hauls at a flea market. I'm like, I want to go there. Okay.
When they start back up around here, usually they start really kicking in around the end of May, the beginning of June. That was my plan too, to try to drive down to like DC and work my way up to, track them out, the flea markets, because you can find some good deals there. I mean, there are guys that set up and, they bought collections. They don't want to sell the collection to an LCS. So they pay their $10 fee to sit there with their, and say, here, everything's $2 and you can find great deals.
Yeah. A lot of hole fillers for your runs.
Right.
Warlord. All right. So you got into comics. Your dad got you into comics by drawing Batman. When did you start becoming an artist? Because I want to talk about your art. And then I know you got it closer on there. We're going to talk about your comic.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see that.
Let's talk about how you became an artist first.
Yeah.
Okay, so my father, he was an artist. He was what I would call a too talented artist. He not only he drew, he played the bass. He had some spots with George Clinton.
Wow.
And he was good at that. So I took the artist side of it, and my oldest sister took the music side of it. So he kept drawing, and then remember back in the day, when I was like in the second grade, my second grade class used to have competition who could draw the Ninja Turtles the best.
Nice.
So that's what I loved. The Ninja Turtles. I used to watch the cartoons all the time, and I used to love to draw them, and that's what just kept me going. Now I've been on a long hiatus from drawing. I'm gonna go back into it. I still have my art table. I still have all my supplies. I'm trying to get my son into it as well because he's like to draw a little bit of things here and there. My niece, she's a phenomenal artist. She's only 10 years old, so I'm trying to be that mentor to both of them.
There you go.
Right, and if they like it, you got to nurture it, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm into a lot of papers.
Mad respect. I always have mad respect for the artist because it was just a talent that I could never pick up myself. But my son loves to draw. He has.
I'm going to be 53 in a few months, and I'm still looking for a talent.
I can dig holes. I can dig holes. I'm talented at digging holes.
I should probably give up. I should probably give up soon.
Yeah. I can find stuff for you. That's about it.
All right. So when you started drawing, what was your safe thing to draw? Because every artist, when they start out, they have something that they go to, right?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man?
Wow. I would think that would be hard.
With the webs and everything?
Yeah, with the webs and everything. I used to love drawing it. Like, I love just sitting and drawing his different, because one thing I loved about Spider-Man is his different poses that he does.
Right.
Well, and it's good practice of human anatomy and muscle and arms and so forth.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a perfect one.
And I want to say this to all artists out there, beginner artists. It's okay to trace. That's how you learn how the body is formed.
Well, and muscle memory. So you start remembering how, yeah.
Yeah, because in my neck of the woods, it was like kind of like taboo, like, oh, you're not that good of an artist because you trace, you know, and you got made fun of. But you know, you got to learn somewhere, and
Right.
Right. You got to develop your talent.
exactly.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to do with my son. I want him to start tracing, you know, coloring books and things of that nature, so he gets to know the anatomy of people.
Now, let's talk about you and your kids a second,
Mm-hmm.
because a big part of me when I was growing up, and still to this day, because I bought them because I'm an adult and I can do that now, was certain cartoons that I just loved as a kid. Now,
Oh,
is there
yeah.
anything that you guys like superhero wise, cartoon wise, that you and your daughter and your son watch?
Well, I only have one. I only have one kid. I only have
Oh,
one
okay. I
youngest
thought you
son.
said you had two. I misheard you.
No. I'm one and done. I'm 44. I'm done.
I had my one kid at 40. I'm like, that's it. I'm good.
Yeah. So my son, he doesn't really. It's strange. I'm trying to get him into superhero cartoons. His main thing, so his first word was car. So he's a car kid.
Yeah.
He has over 300 Hot Wheels,
Wow.
and counting. And
And how many of those have you stepped on?
oh man,
You gotta get him involved with Old Man Collectibles. Eddie, Old Man Collectibles is.
I'm trying to. Right now, I'm fishing 2 or 3 of them out the toilet because he put some in the
Oh,
toilet.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, so I'm fishing those out. I already got one out, so I think there's like 1 or 2 left in there. So yeah, but he
man.
loves cars. My son is autistic,
Hmm.
so but he's verbal, but he's sensitive to sound. So I bought
Right.
some noise canceling headphones because sometime this year we're going to be going to car shows, and I want
Ooh.
him to, you know, he loves. We went to somebody had like a just a random car show at a Dunkin' Donuts, and we was going to a store, and I stopped before I even went to the store. We walked to the car show, so he could just
Right.
walk around. It was free, so we just walked around, and he went to the cars, and he loved it. So I'm gonna do it again, but this time I'm gonna give some headphones.
Well,
Yeah.
John's got some words of advice for you. He said Picasso's having kids up until the end of his life, so you have plenty of time.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was a different time,
No.
John. When they didn't really care about the kids or have to take care of them.
No. I'm
Picasso.
done.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Yeah.
so the car shows are cool though. So is he like completely amazed the whole time he's there?
Yeah.
Because it's funny because cars are something I never cared about. A
Yeah.
car to me gets me from point A to point B and it serves a function.
Exactly.
Mm.
And I know so many gearheads and it's all about cars and dude, I can't even fake caring.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's
you know
just
what?
fun.
It's as long as he's focused on something and it
DJ.
Yeah.
keeps his attention, there's nothing wrong with that at all. So
Yeah. 'Cause even now, like what I'll do is I'll go to YouTube, and if you go to YouTube, you put like driving in Dubai. It would show somebody recording themselves driving, you know,
sure.
like you're in the front seat, and he just loves that because he's like, oh, I'll do New York, and he'll be like, oh, taxi, oh, bus, yellow
Yeah.
taxi,
Did
gray
you
bus.
did you ever tell your kid what the difference between Dubai and Abu Dhabi was?
No, what's the
Right.
difference?
Dubai doesn't like the Flintstones, but Abu Dhabi do.
Oh Lord.
See,
Okay.
that's a dad joke.
It
Yeah.
is a dad joke. That's,
joke.
If he never saw the Flintstones, he's not going to get it. So
No.
Oh, I
there you
saw the
go.
Flintstones.
no, but I knew he saw the Flintstones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, my bad dad jokes out of the way.
Oh,
Yeah,
please.
I'm trying to get my son into old cartoons that I used to watch. Tubi, that free app.
It's
It has
great.
old
I watch a
cartoons
lot
on
of
there.
old series on Tubi.
Yes. I want to try to get him into like the first Transformers, and G.I. Joe.
And you got to try Pokey Joe pun yes. Also Voodoo, which is a free app. You can
Yes.
buy movies on Voodoo, but they also have a lot of old cartoons and stuff on there.
Yeah, and Pluto is
Like,
another good one too.
now, were you a fan of the old Dungeons and Dragon cartoon? Because I had to buy that series. I loved it when I was a kid.
I wasn't really big into it. I didn't get into fantasy until much older.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
And that's
So when did
because
you start playing Magic then?
I was playing back in college. I started
Yeah.
playing in college.
That was like that's a strategy game, like to another level, from what I understand.
Yeah,
And
and you know
you
what?
know,
I used to get this. I dubbed it myself. I used to get these things called magic headaches.
oh wow,
Because I would play so long because it's a lot of fraction and math. So
yeah,
you got like, and you get a lot of rules, like this creature can't block that creature. Now this you could growth this creature, and after a while, I'm sitting there like, okay, Advil, Tylenol.
yeah. You know, I a lot of professional poker players have played Magic the Gathering because it's an odds and mathematical sequencing game involved in it, and that's 90% of what poker is
Exactly.
reading the person and knowing the math.
I have never ever played Magic or Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh wow.
I haven't either.
I've
I'm just saying.
I've always been a reading nerd, but I never got into the role playing games.
Yeah, I have a
No.
niece that's deep into Dungeons
No.
and Dragons.
My first one of the first fantasy things that I got into, like movies, was like a movie called Willow.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that led up into like other stuff. My favorite fantasy, I don't care what nobody says. I don't think it's
EVH.
is TM is TM Nerdy in here?
No,
Because the greatest movie franchise of all time has got to be Lord of the Rings, right? Am I right?
Lady Fantastic will agree with that. She's a big Lord of the Rings fan.
You and Lady Fantastic just became best friends.
Yeah, she'll be your
thing. It was so epic. It's just like it blew my mind. And yes, I stayed the whole time. It could have been 6 hours. I would have been there.
Yeah.
It's such a great franchise. But don't tell TM.
That's all right. Lady Fantastic will cover you. She loves Lord of the Rings.
There you go.
LOT for LTR.
But yeah,
it is.
And DJ Links is a fan too. He says it's the GOAT trilogy.
Yeah, absolutely. See, DJ Links. Lady Fantastic.
In here, I thought it was the Evil Dead trilogy.
Oh, that's you gotta talk to my fiance about that. That's her thing. I'm not real big in horror.
I do like Lady Hawk. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Since she loves horror movies, and I'll support her on all her endeavors. Like I'm her editor for her podcast. So, I'm a guest every once in a while. So I will watch some horror movies with her just so I know what movie she's going to talk about. I like certain horror movies, like sci-fi horror, like Aliens. I love that franchise. Matter of fact, that's what we're doing tomorrow. We're talking about Alien Resurrection on her podcast.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, one of my. I like that one. I didn't like.
I like it too. The one I don't like is 3.
Yeah, 3 is horrible. The prison one.
And the effects in 3 are horrible. You can see where they like pasted in the CGI. It's oh my gosh.
Right.
3 is so bad.
It's so bad.
I like 1. I like 2. Yes. 1 I like because it's more of a horror movie. 2 I like just because that's when Ripley becomes fierce.
Yeah, Ripley. I think that's my second one's a favorite one.
And then 3 garbage. Yes. 4 I liked, and 4 gets a bad rap, and it's not that bad.
It's not.
And then I liked Prometheus, and I know a lot of people didn't. I saw that in the theater. I really liked Prometheus. I did not like Covenant, so I didn't like 3, and I didn't like Covenant. I'm like, why did? And the only reason they went with that character was because of Michael Fassbender. I'm like, no one cares about David. Nothing against Michael Fassbender, who's a great actor, but nobody cared about his story. You wanted the continuation of the girl from Prometheus, Runa Mari or whatever.
Yeah. Aliens 2 was my favorite. No offense. It's like 2, then it's 1. I like 1 a lot because, like you said, it was true horror. It was just like one alien versus a bunch of humans, and people would get picked off. Like it was like a true slasher movie.
But I feel like when that came out, that set the bar for everything.
Yeah.
I mean, like that was remember, because they had like so many other things after it, like what was that one underwater with
well, you had Leviathan, you had Deep Star 6.
Deep Star 6. Leviathan. I mean, there were so many after that I just felt like, man, that right there was the best so far. So.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, that and Giger's alien designs were just classic.
Yeah.
Now, with your wife being a big horror person, have you got her into the Alien comics from Marvel? Because the Alien
No.
storylines have been great in that.
Yes, I have the complete run for the first volume for Marvel. But what happened was they came out with
And the new one just started this week.
Oh wow,
yeah,
yeah,
Creep Show, another classic.
So
Yeah.
I got her the complete run of that. I got her some of this.
Oh, nice.
Got my MP comics.
Right.
I got a whole bunch of them over here stacked up for her. She loves this.
Oh, the old Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, sure.
You need to get your wife or whatever. Oh, you frozen? You need to get her this magazine, which comes out every month.
She wants that. Yes.
And also the Vampirus Carmilla, which is old. They play like the old EC books. It's all black and white horror stories inside. Nice. And they reprint a classic one every issue. He froze on us.
I'm here. I'm here. Back. I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. Those come out. Those come out like every 3 months. So really good.
Yeah, I have. So Monday is gonna be her birthday. So, there's actual a horror store here in Texas. Oh, Crystal and Labyrinth. Oh, I'm sorry, Lady Fantastic. Those great movies. And Legend with Tom Cruise.
Caroline met Crystal Meth. She's really big into Crystal.
We got you, Caroline.
But yeah, I'm gonna try to give her some of those the subscriptions to Shudder, because I feel that she would quietly enjoy those.
Right.
So y'all are going.
Oh, go ahead, Tim.
He was saying they were going to go somewhere on Monday.
We're going to a horror store. It's called Elm Street Toys, and you just go in there, just nothing but pops. They got blankets, pillows, all those types of things.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Fantastic, Caroline. I saw that in the theater. It was a double header. It was Never Ending Story and Legend.
Yeah,
I saw Legend. I remember Legend. I don't remember seeing Never Ending Story, but I do remember Legend.
I loved House and House 2.
Yes, that was a House comic. Doc.
Yeah. That's House 2, the second story, which was great too.
Yeah,
to give a shout out.
I got a stack. I got a stack of horror comics for her. That's some that she likes. So
now, is there anything that you two collect together? Now you both have your separate interests, it seems, but is there anything that you collect as a couple?
Not really. Because that's one of the great things that we're happy that we have our son, because he likes when I watch superhero type of movies. He gets into them. Also, I'll read comic books to him, and he watches horror movies with his mom. So that's gonna be our melting pot.
Yeah, time together. There you go.
So he's gonna love both aspects of it.
Well, he's got to, right? He's a little bit of mix of you both and get your interest in there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Just imagine that. There's like nothing he can't like.
Yeah, it was it was similar with me as a kid. Like my mom loved to cook, and my dad is an artist, so I know how to cook. I'm the main cook of the house, so I know I love cooking, and I love comics. So
there you go.
Same thing gonna happen with my son.
Yeah, but cooking and comics don't go together. What if you get the food on the comics?
No. When I read comic books, when I eat, the comic books are far away from me.
Right.
There you
I'm
go.
not taking no chances. I'm a sloppy eater.
All right, so back to the comics. So now you've been reading for a lot of years. You're 44 years old. What is your all-time favorite comic book story? One that you could keep going back to, revisiting, read over and over again, and just love it every time you read it.
There's one book, is an event. that I read at least once a month, and that's Kingdom Come.
Oh wow.
Yes, I'll go
That's
back to that. I'll go back to that. I got the trade paperback for it. Right now, I got it's put away behind me somewhere. But if I would, I wish I would have brought it out here because you'll see that I've read it.
how bent it
Right?
is.
It's warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty worn.
That's all
And-
that Alex Ross stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what my brother praises all the time. I think that's kind of what drew him back into it back in the day as well.
Yeah, I could always go back to that because the storyline is such an amazing story, and I just love seeing the progression of where the superheroes are in the future, you know, and how things got changed, and it was just an amazing read, especially the fight between Superman and Shazam, you know.
Right.
And there was a lot of tragedy in that too. Well, you know, you can spoil it because it's been out for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they just did it. Yeah, I mean, the Comic Viking, they just did a whole thing on that. I think.
Yeah, with the nuclear when they
Right.
I think it was in the United States to launch a nuclear warhead at them, and they tried to protect as many superheroes as they could, but not everybody was saved.
Right.
See, one of my favorite reads, and unfortunately, I had the trade forever, and it got ruined in the last month, and I got to find the series again. Was one called by Brian Bolin, Camelot 3000, which I just.
Oh yeah.
And again, it's that fantasy. It's just the Arthurian legend, and they mix up the characters some, and it's just so much fun.
Right.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people in the crowd saying God Love Wins Kills the X-Men.
That's a good one too. I have that one
somewhere.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Who remembers the Dungeon Master? Oh yeah.
The Dark Phoenix sagas, yeah, those are good too. Days of Future Past, you can't go wrong.
Now I got to ask you because you're not into horror.
Yeah,
but your girl is.
Yeah.
Have you watched anything with her where you went fetal and she's laughing at you?
Oh no. See, you know.
He's not going to tell us. It happened.
Me being the man that I am, I'm not going to be
right.
You know.
Where she had to pick up her CBizzle and call him for a minute to bring him back.
I think
you know a horror movie that made me not like horror films?
Huh.
Child's Play.
Really?
Yeah.
That was just
I could see that.
I just after that I was like, nope. I'm not paying somebody to scare me. If I want to get scared, I look at my bills all day. You know?
So you didn't watch that new one, Megan, did you?
I gotta watch it. I just bought it.
Yeah, I'm okay now.
I watched it and was like, wow.
It
was really good. Like it did scare me, but at the same time, it wasn't, like, Chucky or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So
like I take her to the theaters and like we watch Scream 5 and Scream 6 at the theaters.
But those aren't scary though.
The Halloween
slashers.
The Halloween movie. She doesn't watch like paranormal activity. She don't watch nothing like that.
See, I like the supernatural stuff. That stuff is cool to me.
Yeah, she don't watch.
Yeah, she doesn't do the paranormal, huh?
No, she's slasher all the way. Yeah, slasher all the way.
Yeah.
Now, this next question is going to determine if she's a good person or not. So it's very. Is she a fan of John Carpenter's The Thing?
Oh, she's a fan of John Carpenter. Period.
Okay. Okay. All right. She passed the test. It's okay.
Yeah.
Just say that and you're good.
She was in trouble there for a second.
I actually own the PlayStation 2 The Thing video game. I actually own a copy of that.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it's
Puppet Masters were good if you never saw those. Those are good. I'm okay watching it now. Like when I was a kid, nah.
I didn't do a lot when I was a kid either. It just wasn't, and they all came out when we were young. I mean, all the Freddy's, all the Nightmare on Elm Streets, all those came out in the theater. And that, I think I went and saw maybe 3, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, I think. And the only reason why I went is because a group of us went, and I ended up liking that one because it was the Dream Warriors, I think. Wasn't that 3?
Was it?
And
it was 3.
Yeah. Okay. And I thought, okay, this is kind of cool. They're kind of having a revenge thing to a degree, but You know, that was the only one I remember going and seeing in the theaters. The rest of them, I was like, I'm passing.
Now, have you two ever went to a theater to watch a horror movie and walked out of it?
I'd never walk out of a theater. I pay my money, man. I'm staying for the whole
same here.
thing.
Not me and her. Me and my ex did. So let me tell y'all the story of this. It was Jason versus Freddy, which I found was the most horrible movie I ever watched.
I was gonna say that can't be scary at all. It's just gotta be campy.
So we're in the theater. This old lady behind us was saying, "Oh, Freddy's my father." Freddy kept yelling it behind us.
Yeah.
And somebody yelled at her, said, "Hey, can you please quiet?" She said, "No, Freddy's my father." And then she says something about Jewish people.
Okay.
And then once somebody yelled out, said, "Hey, I'm Jewish." She said, "Oh yeah." She said, "How?" And then she said his name.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, "Oh yeah, we're done.
We gotta go.
We're leaving." And the bad part is that lady had a young lady with her, like a kid with her. And I felt sorry for the young lady. And we went down there. We complained to the management at the theater. They gave us tickets for another movie.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That's the only time in my life that I walked out on a movie.
Now, I will back up. I walked out, but it was just to go tell them they put the wrong movie on. Like we were sitting in there. It was like Thanksgiving Day, and my in-laws were visiting. So the wife and I snuck out and went to go see Red.
With
movie
Bruce
Red
Willis?
with Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
And they started it, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of Disney workups to this, and it ended up being like Rapunzel. And I said, no. And so I was like right near the door. I went out and I said, "Yo, man, y'all got the wrong one on. This is like Rapunzel." And they're like, "What?" And they went up in there, and so they cut it. And they were like, "I did not pay to see Rapunzel. Put Red on, bro." So they felt bad afterwards, and they gave, as everybody was walking out, they're just tearing off these free passes to a movie again. Because
man,
it was like another 20 minutes before we got the movie started back up to see. So.
And you're obviously like a multimedia person. So what has been your favorite comic to screen translation that just completely wowed you?
I would say the first Avengers movie.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because
whole Avengers Assemble moment.
Yes. Because they start off each of them with their own single story, and it came together into one big film. I'm not part of the hate groups on comic book movies and television shows.
Right.
Here's my philosophy on it. As a kid growing up, watching these movies, reading comic books, drawing these comic books, and then seeing them on live action in front of me, I'm amazed every time I go to a theater. Now, there's some movies that I don't have a taste for, that I didn't quite, like, but I'm not gonna like automatically dog. Like, I didn't like the storyline in Green Lantern, but I love the casting of it. I love Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern.
I thought Green Lantern gets too much hate. The script was bad, but the actors were fine.
The actor was fine.
Was just fine.
Mark Strong as Sinestro is just a perfect cast. Next to Patrick Stewart as Professor X.
Okay.
Right.
That to me that's a perfect cast of any movie.
And you touched on something that I like to talk about a lot. As people if they see something they don't like, oh, that thing sucks. No, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it sucks. It just means it's not for you.
Right.
Correct.
It's okay for something to not be for you. It doesn't make it bad.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like those reality shows. I don't like watching them. They're not for me.
Me either.
Mm-mm.
But I'm not.
Somebody does.
I just don't watch them.
But here you go. Here's a perfect example. Jerry Springer just passed away. Now, I am not a huge fan of watching it, but after you've been drinking for a while and you're, it starts to get funny. And a buddy of mine, we would sit there and he loved them. I mean, like he loved them sober, drunk, whatever. And I remember coming in and we were hammered from something and it was on. And I was like, wow, this guy has a baby with that guy's daughter's cousin's mother. Holy cow, you know, and I was like into it one night. And
I never believed that. I looked at Jerry Springer like wrestling, like it was all scripted for.
Well, it is,
right.
yeah, for the most part it was. I mean, come on, it was what it was. But just to watch the fact that you know, he held that spot for a long time.
He did.
But I love wrestling. I grew up wrestling. Now I haven't watched a full episode of Raw or SmackDown in over a decade.
Yeah.
But I grew up in the age of Coco Beware, Junkyard Dog. I actually met the Sheik, super nice guy.
Oh, the Iron Sheik.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I actually met him at my first comic book convention. He was super nice.
Yes. And that's when I watched it when I was a kid, right? It was like and I remember it used to come on at 11:30 at night back then. It wasn't like mainstream.
No.
Right. And so I'm watching it, and you had people on like Roddy Piper, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah.
And
the Nature Boy.
Giant.
Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Well, he came later.
Yeah.
Well,
when I started watching, he wasn't around. Like,
Sting
he came
was
after
around.
I stopped watching.
Yeah.
Yep. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Yep.
Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
And then Captain Lou Albano, which is always going to amuse the hell out of me. He played Mario on that TV show.
Yeah. Yeah, he played Mario on the television show.
Yeah.
I also like WW, I won't say this, WWF, because that's what I remember it as.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that cartoon they had, and he was on there.
The Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
And
they're always singing the song, and
I miss that. I actually miss that. Like waking up in the morning, go grab your bowl of the most sugary filled cereal and sit down and just watch Saturday morning cartoons until like almost noon, and then you go out and play.
Yeah, they don't do that now. Not really.
No, not that I know of.
I'm gonna go back to Eddie here too, like the Avengers. I'm sorry, Jim. I'm skipping all over the place. I know we got so many pokers in the fire right now.
We do.
But to get back to your original point, the Avengers was the first time you saw that they could actually do. I mean, they did it with the X-Men, but not to that scale. But they could do like big, colorful, full comic book looking team movie and make it coherent and work.
Yes,
right.
Because the X-Men was a great teen comic book movie, but all right, costumes, no, everyone gets black leather.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Right?
True. Yeah. I just love the way they was able to bring, because they did the Iron Man movie first, and then was it Captain America or was it Thor after, or was it the other way around?
No, I think it was
Hulk.
No, I think it was I think it was Hulk.
Okay.
And then
it was Edward Norton Hulk after Iron Man.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And then it was Captain America, then Thor. And just the fact that they put all those together into one movie it was just amazing to me.
Now I got to ask you too, because at the end of Avengers, or I mean Iron Man, I'm in the theater. First of all, I can't believe how good Iron Man was, and that one thing where he just looks back and sends the missiles. I was like, ooh, that's like right out of the comic.
Yeah.
Cool, right? And then you're watching, and then Nick Fury comes out. You're like, what? What's going on here?
Now the MCU may not have created the end credit scenes, but they made them popular.
They made them a staple.
Yes.
Well, if you remember, I think the first end credit scene I remember ever seeing was at the end of Masters of the Universe when Skeletor comes out of the lava.
You brought back some memories with that movie. Talking about the Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I watched that once.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Yeah, Meg Foster in that too.
I need another live action.
Courtney Cox was in it.
Oh yeah. She was what was her name though?
And that movie got too much hate. That movie wasn't that terrible.
No. I mean, as a kid, I love it.
And I thought Frank Langella looked great as Skeletor.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, Dolph Lundgren looked like He-Man.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
He was taking a check at that point. He didn't care. He'd do anything. He just wanted to be in the movies.
He should look over at the lava. If he dies, he dies.
Yeah.
If he dies, he dies. It's so funny. Like you watch people like Sylvester Stallone and Dolph Lundgren, and everyone always associates them with dumb action heroes, right? But then you got these guys that are so accomplished, right? Like Sylvester Stallone is like this incredible scriptwriter, right? Like he wrote Rocky, he wrote Rambo, he wrote all. Dolph Lundgren has all these degrees, and and just a super intelligent dude.
Yeah,
and all this great knowledge they have, all this intellect. But it was they could be the jocks and the nerds at the same time.
true.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just like us nerds could be cool.
Eddie's saying, don't forget Freebirds.
Freebirds.
I'm trying to remember what he. Yeah, exactly. Franklin Jella is Skeletor.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only thing I was disappointed is they didn't have Orko in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's the Fabulous. Okay. Oh, they're talking about music in there. I thought they were talking about some kind of movie.
They're talking about tag team.
The Fabulous Freebirds.
Freebirds, Midnight Express. Yeah.
Oh, yep. And also, that's another thing. Yeah, Dolph Lundgren was making those movies back then. The Punisher was good with him too, and that doesn't get any love.
Yeah, Punisher.
I never saw that one.
Movie.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah,
I don't think I saw that one.
Tia Carrera.
Oh,
Tia Carrera.
Yeah, where is she now?
Tia Carrera. She's old now.
Yeah,
she's retired. She's got all her Wayne's World money.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah,
Wayne's World.
Another good movie.
Now, I don't know if you remember 80s flicks the way I do, CBizzle, but Lady Fantastic just brought up the Goonies, right? So the Goonies, E.T., all these 80s movies, the one thing they all had in common is none of those movies happened if it wasn't for bad 80s parenting. None of those parents in any of those movies, especially Wolfman's Got Nards, Monster Squad, none of those parents knew where their kids were during any point in any of those movies. Their kids were just gone.
I'm gonna tell you now, all those movies you just mentioned. Not only do my fiance loves horror movies, she's a huge 80s person. So one of her favorite movies is Goonies. She loves Monster Squad. Even the rom-coms with like Breakfast Club and Sweet 16.
Right. 16 Candles and
16 Candles. Yeah. So she loves all those type of movies.
John Hughes films.
Some Kind of Wonderful.
Some Kind of Wonderful.
She loves Lady Fantastic. Also, The Lost Boys. Those two.
Here you go, CBizzle. So when I was dating my wife at the time, going to the movies was like a thing you would do because I think I was maybe 18 or 19 and she was still in high school too and all this stuff. And so we went to go to the theater and this person came up and approached us and said, "Hey, would you like to see a movie for free?" Well, I'm a man on a budget. I'm like, "Hey, let's go see this movie for free." She goes, "They're not telling us what it is." I said, "Who cares? It's free." Yeah. And so we get in there and they said, "We're going to let you watch the entire movie. And then you're going to need to fill out this card and bring it down to the front. At the front when the movie's over with." We watched the entire thing and then they told us the name of it and it was called Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And they were like, we were like a screening group for it because they hadn't released it yet. And they said what you had to fill out this whole card on what you thought, where you thought they needed to, was it. And so we it didn't come out for like another I want to say another month. Because we went back, I remember going, man, we went and saw this movie. It's called Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And people like, well, where is it?
I saw that movie too at the theater.
Well, they were trying to decide whether to keep the ending the way it was. Because a lot of the questions on the card were about the ending. Did you like the ending? And I said, I love the ending. I love the whole damn thing. It was great. I wrote on there, don't change a thing. And they ended up giving us like a pin at the end, because back then people used to put pins on everything, jackets and whatnot, and it was said Leisure Rules was the pin. And I never forget it though, because I thought that was the coolest thing. We got to see an awesome movie for free. We ended up seeing it again when it finally came out, but that's how old we are, or at least I was a test audience for Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
The chat is throwing out some good 80s movies. I swear they are.
Come on. Breakfast Club legendary, absolutely.
That's another one. So Ferris Bueller's Day Off is another one I saw as a double header. It was Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and then the backup was Beverly Hills Cop.
Oof.
Oh,
don't get me started.
Me being from Detroit, I love Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh yeah, everything Eddie touched was gold back then.
Right? Oh yeah,
and Stargate is one of my all-time favorite franchises.
Oh yeah,
I love Stargate.
I think it was good, but
novels they had put out of it because they used to do novels, and I read all the novels. I just loved it.
Stargate is a good franchise. It's no Lord of the Rings, but it's a good franchise.
Someone's been campaigning hard tonight to never come back. I don't know.
I swear, Lord of the
Rings. He's slamming that door shut. All great. So Jean Malot says Alien is his favorite franchise.
Yeah, Aliens is a good franchise. It's just that 3 hurts me. I can't really put it up top too high because 3 really hurt it.
Yeah,
for me.
I agree.
Yeah, 3 was horrible, and just the effects were so bad.
Yeah. And plus, I like Alien Resurrection because Ron Perlman. I
am a huge Ron Perlman fan.
Yeah, I met him at Texas Frightmare not too long ago, a couple of years ago.
All right, so I got to ask you about another classic movie from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorite comedy sci-fi movies ever.
Okay.
And it's rated very poorly, and it doesn't matter because I absolutely love it. And if he watches it, Nicholas from One Shot Comics will agree with me, and that is Ice Pirates.
Oh, no.
Ron Perlman's in that.
I don't even think I've seen that before.
Ice Pirates is so funny.
I saw it once.
I don't think I've seen that one before.
Yeah.
Now I have to go look for it. Yeah. You're gonna force me to sit and watch something. I'm gonna go.
and Angelica Houston before she was big too. Ron Perlman and Angelica Houston when they were young.
Yeah,
man.
It's like Ron Perlman before he got his big jaw.
A young Ron Perlman. Yeah. He does great as
Hellboy.
Hellboy, yeah.
I love him in Hellboy.
Man, that I can get behind a lot. I can watch that over and over.
And he was a big reason that I liked Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
He's my favorite character. And I thought Winona Ryder was good too in it, and everyone was hating on her because she was the new bot. So,
so I'm not hating on her. It's just the fact that her bot was very annoying and very condescending. So that's one of the things that in the podcast tomorrow, that's one of the questions that my fiance is going to ask me is like, who's your favorite character? Who's your least favorite character of that movie? She is my least favorite character of that movie.
Wow.
Only because just the way she was acting towards Ridley, didn't want to bring her along. She was always, the sneaky type. Nobody on her crew of 6 didn't know that she was an android until later.
Yeah, but in the first 2 Alien movies, like the first Alien movie, nobody knew the Doc was an android.
Yeah. But she wasn't. But the Doc wasn't annoying as she was. So.
No, but he was a dick.
He did have his okay. Yeah. You're right about that.
Oh goodness. Oh,
and he showed up. When the real guy show up in 3, the person the bot was made after, at the end.
Yes.
Okay.
And of course everyone likes I can't remember his name. Such a great actor. The bot in the set in Aliens. He was so good.
I can't remember his name. I can hear his voice.
And I just watched Aliens last night, and I can't remember it. I literally just watched it last night.
I can hear his voice in my head because he had that raspy type of voice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So speaking of him, he was good in Pumpkinhead too. Lance Henriksen.
Yes.
Pumpkinhead's one of those under the radar movies that's pretty good.
It was a revenge movie. That was a horror movie.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
All right, we've been going an hour and 4 minutes, believe it or not.
What? It don't feel like it.
Crazy.
I know, right?
Don't feel like it. We still in the 80s. We didn't get to the 90s yet. No.
Yeah. That's bring you back for the 90s.
Right. Well, actually, when we can have you back, but will your girl get on with you, or does
Yeah, I
she
can
not
ask
show her
her. Yeah,
face?
yeah. No, she don't mind. I can bring her on.
Because we could do that, and we can do a whole '80s episode,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that would be fun. I'd be down for that. That's
like a
something
nice,
I actually
nice
know.
'80s debate.
Yeah, you'll
But
be me, her, and you'll hear my son in the background. So,
but I
Well,
want to
that's
I want to
okay.
see
We're
this
kid friendly
comic
here.
now. I want to see this
yeah.
comic you did.
We'll just make Jim wear a bag so he doesn't scare your
Let
kid.
me. Do I have
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
nearby? I don't have my comic nearby.
All
I
right.
just normally
Well,
keep it next to me, but I will. I'm gonna take some pictures of it, and I will post it on my Instagram.
there you go. That'll
Yeah.
work.
Oh yeah,
That'll work.
shoot! We didn't even get to. We got so busy talking about so much stuff. This is so much fun. We're definitely gonna have you back on a
Yeah.
third time soon.
Yes, I'll be on whenever you need me.
But let's do like we usually do, Jim. Let's do final questions. I'll let Jim go first.
Okay, I'm gonna do the question that Rob used to do that I still love, and I'm gonna carry it on. CBizzle, Marvel has come to you and said, "Hey man, we want you to help us out. We want you to pick one of our comics, and we're gonna let you, something that we're not sure it's gonna be able to stay afloat. We want you to take it over, and I want you to pick an artist and a story. What would the comic be? Like right now, Marvel comic."
So Marvel comic right now, is one is going on. Well, no, it's not. The artist I want is Kenneth Rocafort.
Okay.
And I want to bring back Power Man and Iron Fist.
All right,
Yes,
there you go.
I love that series.
And you know what?
So good.
And that's. I mean, I probably didn't word it exactly the way Rob does, but I picked strictly Marvel because you're mostly a Marvel guy, even though the Kingdom Come thing threw me for a loop because that's DC. But I would love a good Power Man and Iron Fist.
Yeah, I didn't get to that story when I started going to DC. That happened in the early 2000s. So that'd be for the next time.
That's an excellent choice.
Yeah, because it was a Power Man Iron Fist title. It was drawn by Sanford Green, and it got canceled after I think 15 issues. And I really enjoyed that story. And I would love for Kenneth Rocafort or Ken Lashley to draw it.
But they got to put Luke Cage back in the yellow shirt.
Yes, it has to be the yellow shirt. Like I think it's
iconic.
I think he's a mayor now. He's the mayor of New York.
Yeah, he's a mayor. Yeah,
I don't like that Luke Cage.
Yeah, he's too big now.
Yeah.
Now I was waiting for him and Jessica Jones to get married on Netflix because they got to be together and have that kid.
Exactly. Now, is their kid a mutant? Did the kid grow up to have powers?
I don't know actually.
Okay.
I just know Squirrel Girl was the babysitter.
If she developed powers, wouldn't that classify her as a mutant?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just throwing this out there, Marvel. Baby? Yeah, just throwing it out there, Marvel, just in case y'all want to, do something.
See, that was another missed opportunity for me too. Is I wanted to see Nightwing Investigations. I wanted to see Colleen Wing and right and
Misty Knight.
I wanted to see them form their own agency and get their own spin-off show.
They could have done that with that whole. Even those two characters or those two actresses that played them would have been perfect to do a spin-off because the thing they did on Netflix, I was not impressed at all with the Iron Fist show. But I did like Misty Knight's character and Colleen Wing, so they could have definitely done that. That would have been amazing.
I have two problems with the Iron Fist show. One, the choreograph fighting, and every 5 minutes, I am the Iron Fist.
Yeah,
I am the Iron Fist.
I had to tell people that. Yeah,
you know what?
Yeah,
I am the Iron Fist. I'm like, okay, I got you. We don't. Nobody else need to know about this.
Yeah.
So that's my main
and he never got the costume up.
No.
Never.
No. Not at all.
You wanted to see him in the costume. That's part. His costume is so iconic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even the white one he had in the Avengers or something when he got to the next level was really cool.
They missed so much with that. That's a whole nother show we could talk about.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
We were talking so much I forgot what my last question was. All right, so we'll go with this then.
Okay.
What is a character you want to see on the big screen that we haven't seen yet?
Night Thrasher.
Oh, there you go.
Easy,
Wow.
simple enough. Like I said, I've been collecting.
I'll say that because we get to see Silhouette if Night Thrasher's there.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. He's such an underrated superhero, and he's street level. So you could just do a whole show,
Right.
not a movie. You could do a show,
Like
with Night
a
Thrasher.
little 12-part series, you know,
Exactly,
taking down a
exactly.
big drug kingpin or something.
And then you could bring in the New Warriors as guest appearances.
I need a Night Nurse series with Rosario Dawson.
Oof. Yeah, that would be cool.
Just because they're always
Rosario Dawson.
no matter
But
what's going on,
love
there always
Clever.
has to be more Rosario Dawson.
We're gonna get her
and-
with Ahsoka, man.
I know my
Yeah.
fiance is watching this, but she knows that's my Hollywood crush. Is
So you're a
Rosario
fan too?
Dawson.
Rosario Dawson.
Oh, she's just
Right.
yes.
Rosario Dawson is the finest wine.
And
There you
she's
go.
fine as wine in summertime.
There you go.
See, three nerds agree.
Yep.
Start a new segment. Three nerds agree.
Look at Phil said to Gary. Rosario's sitting right next to me. Said, "Oh,
So, CBizzle, here's what we're gonna do, man.
Yes, sir.
Look at him, Phil.
Yeah, Phil.
Set off.
Phil made me." Yeah.
We are gonna have, because this came to fruition with you on the show. We are gonna have an '80s hot seat.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
We'll do
yeah.
that.
You, Jim, me, your girl, and we're gonna talk the best '80s cinema.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're
She
gonna
would love
debate which
that.
is the best one.
She would love that.
We'll come up with a
Tell her to
list.
gear up.
We'll talk back and forth. My May is all booked up. Let's think June.
yeah.
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 What about that in June?
Yeah.
It'll be the '80s hot seat, and we'll talk nothing but '80s flicks.
Oh, she would
Except
love that.
the
We'll
second
see
week
if
of
we can
June.
decide on what the ultimate best '80s movie was.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
That's gonna be tough because there's a lot of good horror, romantic comedies, action.
Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. she was just watching that a couple of days ago.
I like her already.
Yeah. Yeah, she was watching like all day because my son loves it now.
Howard the Duck's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Howard Duck's good.
You didn't catch him looking at those duck boobies, did you?
No. he likes the music scene on that one.
No, that's
so,
good.
Yeah.
And of course, one of the '80s icons in that movie with Catherine Mary Stewart.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, she
Night
was
of the
like,
Comet, another great movie.
when I'm telling
Wow.
you name all the stuff that my fiance watches, and she will just like she'll go on. It might be a 2-hour show. Police Academy, yes, another good one.
We might have to invite John's Comics for Kids on with that one too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, all right, let's do it. We're gonna have an '80s theme in June.
Yeah, a community a community meeting,
There you
Right.
go.
a
All right, so-
hangout.
Guys,
Excellent.
I would go all night, but my
Yeah.
kid knocked on the door twice because he wants to use the computer and get on with his friends.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let him nerd out and do some gaming.
Yeah.
Dude, it is always a pleasure. I've had you on twice. Both times I've had the absolute best time.
Same here.
I hope you will keep coming back.
Absolutely, always.
This was fun.
Thank you so much for coming on. I want to thank the audience. We had a great audience tonight, a big
Mhm.
audience. It was really fun. You guys are interacting. You guys are funny. I want to thank Jim for always being a good wingman for me on Thursdays. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
And I'm looking forward to June and '80s hot seat. We're
Yes.
gonna do a theme. It's gonna be
Yes.
so much fun.
You can
We
do
might
a
have to wear 80s
3-parter.
Right?
Oh, 80s costumes? Oh, now you're gonna have to make. I know a vintage shop here in Dallas, so we might have to look into that.
I'll have to grow my mullet back out.
Find my what was it members only jacket? Get my members only jacket out.
Well, guys, great time. Thank you both so much. And until next time, keep it casual.